Welcome to the Impact 100 Grant Review Team. I am Jennifer Larson, and we are excited today to send you what we hope is going to be just about a 10-minute video describing who we are and what we do in hopes that you will consider joining us for this grant review process. I have been part of the organization for 3 years, have loved every minute, and have also been part of the grant review team for the past 3 years as well, and serve as vice president of the organization.
Hi, my name is Krista. This is also my 3rd year on the grant review team, and I serve as treasurer for the organization, and I'm excited for our 3rd granting cycle.
So on our call today, what we're going to walk through are the grant review for the principles of the organization. It's core to who we are as an organization. It is core to our process for the grant review team. We'll walk through what your role and commitment will be if you decide to join us. We will learn about the grant review process. We'll learn the key dates that you'll need to add to your calendar. Krista will tell us more about the financial review team that partners closely with the grant review team. And then we'll end with how to sign up. So our 4 core principles, which you might be familiar with when you signed up for Impact 100, are core to how we do the GRT process. So first is trust-based philanthropy. We work to move power closest to those who are right near the community needs. So organizations that work directly with the communities that they serve and are representing those communities. One of the ways we do this and help reduce their burden as applicants is our application. It is 5 questions. It is not extensive. And we hope that this reduces their burden and they are able to partner more closely with us and more easily by a short application. The second is we support transformative change. So we support community-based organizations that address systemic issues. They address the root causes of social issues and disparities that affect specifically the Puget Sound area. Thirdly, we are an organization that is excited to embrace risk. So we love partnering with organizations that encourage new ways of thinking and acting. And we believe that this increases resilience and impact. And then lastly, Impact 100 is an organization that tries to listen, learn, and evolve. So we look very different today than we did 3 years ago. And I know that we will continue to evolve more and more each year, but we're excited to be on a learning journey and we hope you'll join us. For the grant review team, to walk through what your role and commitment would be if you decide to join the team, we are a volunteer group of members of the organization that is in charge of reading all the applications that come in, going through multiple rounds of selection processes to narrow it down to the final group that will present to our entire membership at the annual meeting. And one of the core things that we are responsible for is to be sure that our criteria and our grant making principles are reflected in the organizations that proceed to the final round. It is a fun team. It's a great way to meet members in the organization. This last year, we had about 25 to 30 women who participated on the grant review team. And just as much as it is a fun commitment to have, it is also a commitment and it requires quite a few hours. So we'll be learning shortly from Krista what that looks like. But a few of the things that we do need you to commit to if you decide to join the team is first that you'll attend all meetings, either in person or in Zoom. It is crucial that we need every member there to help us reduce the bias across the process that we go through. Second is to do a couple hours of pre-reads in advance of beginning the grant review process, which will help educate us about trust-based philanthropy, as well as recognizing and calling out unconscious and conscious bias. The third would be to read through all applications that come in. And the last is an option that you have to participate in calls with the finalist nonprofit organizations, which is a really fun way to get to know them better. And then we do a write-up on them that then goes to our entire membership as they decide who they're going to vote for. So I'm going to hand it off to Krista now to walk us through what the process is and our key dates.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. So high level, the grant review team process has several distinct steps. It starts with the pre-work, which is independent reading done at home, and then includes also the information session, which is our first meeting as a group to discuss the readings, get familiar with the criteria, understand what the application review looks like. After that is the actual review of each application. The last couple of years, we've had between 50 and 60 initial applicants. So it's reading through each application and evaluating which organization you would recommend proceed to the semifinalist round based on how well they reflect our principles and criteria. We'll meet in the first semifinalist selection meeting, and actually there will be 2 semifinalist selection meetings this year where we will agree and align on that narrowing of the initial pool to our semifinalists, generally 10 or less semifinalist organizations. Once we have that group, then we break into small teams and have one-on-one conversations with leaders at each nonprofit to get to know a little bit more about what they do, why they do it. And we also conduct a financial review, and that process, which I'll talk about in a second, just informs those conversations a bit more and further confirms fit with our criteria. Then we'll get together again for the finalist selection meeting, which is to take that group of semifinalists and narrow it down to our finalists, which last year we had 3. And all 3 of those organizations get funded. And we present those set of finalists at the annual meeting to full membership, where everyone will get a chance to vote on the distribution of funds. On this slide, you'll see the key dates for each of the steps that I just outlined for the process. And it would be my hope that if you do want to join the team, that you would take this slide and check your calendar and add these things on there, and just make sure that you understand the time commitment, which is also listed here, and that it works for your schedule. One thing to note is that our information session scheduled for March 3rd ideally would have an in-person component, just because we want to get in the room and meet each other. But obviously things are uncertain, so it's a little up in the air, but regardless, there would be a Zoom component. And then the other 2 meetings are also on Zoom. We estimate the total time commitment to be between 20 and 30 hours between the months of February and May. The financial review team is led by me, and last year it consisted of 4 women who decided that they wanted to dig into the financial statements of the semifinalist nonprofits. We divvied it up to have each 2 nonprofits that we analyzed and discussed, and then helped to hand off any follow-up questions to the small teams interviewing nonprofits. The more people who sign up, the lighter the lift. And this is a really great group for anybody who has a finance background, an interest in numbers and math, or if you want to learn, maybe you did the GRT last year and you want to try something different, then just shoot me an email, and we'd love to have you. I promise the next slide is coming.
Great. So we would love for you all to consider joining either the grant review team or the financial review team, or brownie points for both. My email is on there. Please shoot me an email with any questions. And if you would like to sign up by January 31st, that will be our cutoff date. So please mark that. Please get back with us before then. Feel free to reach out to Krista or I with any questions, and we hope you'll be on the team. Thanks so much.
Thanks.